Welcome to Crime Logic, where every mystery has a method and every story hides a truth. Tonight, we dive into another chilling case you won't forget. Los Angeles, 1947, a city of dreams, neon lights, and Hollywood fame. But beneath the glamour, darkness was waiting. On a cold January morning, a woman's body was discovered in an empty lot. Mutilated, drained of blood, posed with eerie precision. Her name was Elizabeth Short, but the world would come to know her as the Black Dahlia. Today, we dive into one of the most haunting, unsolved murders in American history, a case that baffled detectives, obsessed investigators, and captured the imagination of millions for nearly 8 decades. Before she became a headline, Elizabeth Short was just 22 years old, chasing the Hollywood dream. Born in Boston in 1924, she, like many young women of her time, was drawn to Los Angeles, a city promising fame, glamour, escape from the ordinary. Elizabeth stood out. Jet black hair, porcelain skin, an aura of mystery. She wore dark dresses, bright red lipstick, and carried herself with an elegance that made people notice. Some say she lit up every room she entered. Others say she carried a sadness she could never quite hide. But one thing was certain, she wanted to be a star. What she didn't know was that Hollywood, while dazzling on the surface, could also swallow you whole. January 15th, 1947. A mother and her young daughter were walking through a vacant lot near South Norton Avenue. At first, the mother thought she had spotted a broken mannequin, but as she stepped closer, her blood ran cold. It wasn't a mannequin. It was a body. Elizabeth Short's remains were found in one of the most shocking conditions Los Angeles had ever seen. She had been cut cleanly in half at the waist. Her body was completely drained of blood, leaving her pale like porcelain. And worse, her face had been slashed into a grotesque smile, carved from ear to ear. Yet, there was no blood at the scene. None. Whoever killed her had done it elsewhere, and then placed her body, carefully, almost artistically. This wasn't just murder. It was a message. The LAPD launched one of the largest investigations in its history. Hundreds of officers, endless suspects. The press swarmed the story. Headlines screamed, "The Black Dahlia." The name stuck, sealing Elizabeth's fate in history. But the chaos only grew. Over 150 suspects were questioned. People across the country confessed, falsely, desperately craving attention. And chillingly, the media received taunting letters and packages, allegedly from the killer. Still, the deeper police dug, the murkier it became. Evidence disappeared. Leads collapsed. Hollywood's culture of secrecy smothered the truth. Elizabeth's murder had become a dark performance, and the killer always seemed one step ahead. Over the years, dozens of names have surfaced, but a few stand out. One of the most notorious? Dr. George Hodel, a wealthy physician, brilliant, powerful, and sinister. Decades later, his own son, Steve Hodel, a former LAPD detective, accused him. He uncovered photographs, connections to the crime scene, and even recordings where George seemed to admit his guilt. But not everyone agrees. Some believe Elizabeth crossed paths with Hollywood's underworld. A jealous lover, a man with mob ties, or perhaps a serial predator who was never caught. The truth is, every theory has holes. Every suspect an alibi. Every clue just out of reach. Why does the Black Dahlia case still haunt us after all these years? Maybe it's the sheer brutality. So calculated, so precise, it felt less like a killing and more like a ritual. Maybe it's the tragedy of Elizabeth herself, a young woman chasing dreams of stardom, only to be remembered for the nightmare she suffered. Or maybe it's because unsolved mysteries force us to confront something darker. The idea that evil can walk among us, hidden in plain sight and never be punished. The Black Dahlia became more than just a murder. It became a mirror, reflecting the shadows of Hollywood itself. Beauty, ambition, and destruction. 78 years later, The Black Dahlia mystery remains unsolved. Elizabeth Short never found the fame she longed for. But in death, she became a legend. A tragic icon of Hollywood's golden age, gone terribly wrong. And perhaps that's why her story endures. Because deep down, we're all still asking the same chilling question. Who killed the Black Dahlia? So what do you think? Was it Dr. Hodel, a jealous lover, or someone the world has never suspected? Let me know your theory in the comments. And if you love exploring true crime's darkest mysteries, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because more stories like this are on the way. If you enjoyed watching this thrilling crime story, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos.